of men I know!
What a fucking idiot! Oh my God!
Hello, welcome to this episode of Agenda Magazine, and with me I have two very special guests who are highlights of this amazing movie called Welcome to the Men's Group.
Do you have a reservation?
What is it you guys actually do?
Anyway, we eat, we talk, we listen, we go home.
I have Scott Ben-Yashar and I have Saam. Scott Ben-Yashar, who's a writer and the producer. And then, of course, Ali is one of the stars of the movie. Welcome.
Thank you.
I've known Ali for some time. Ali was in a movie that I shot a long time ago called Redemption. He was in an incredible film called Argo that won, what, 7 Academy Awards, was it?
I think 7 or 8, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was one of the most...
It was up there.
It was the most one for that year, and you were the antagonist, which was a thrill. To actually hate you was very fun while I was watching the movie. And I understand in this movie you have a very different role. I saw the trailer a few times, and it's drawing me in.
Gentlemen, this is Tom. Tom is going to observe today, hopefully participate.
Tell me, Scott, your impetus for creating this piece.
My partner and I, Joseph Culp, son of the late actor Robert Culp, have been in a men's group together for almost 20 years. And one day, Joseph came to me and he said, wouldn't this make an interesting movie? So we sat down in the coffee shop and we outlined a fictitious version of our actual men's group. It's not our men's group, but there's some influences. And Joseph had been for many years involved in the men's movement, which really was started in the late 80s. The other great influence was the poet Robert Bly, who was one of the founders, along with Michael Meade, of the men's movement. He wrote a book called Iron John, which utilized ancient mythology in looking at maleness and the whole question of how men get initiated. And do they get initiated as men by their fathers, by other men who are mentors? Or has something been lost and are they being initiated by their mothers if the fathers are away at work and not there available to them? And basically, the men's movement was looking at what's been lost and how men can reclaim what it means to be a man. And in modern times, men have become very confused about that and act it out in all kinds of inappropriate ways. We don't hunt the wild boar anymore as men. We go to our cubicles and we go to our jobs, and then what does it mean if you lose your job? What does it mean if you lose your cubicle? What does it mean if you get divorced? Are you still a man? What does it mean to be a man? So all of these questions my partner and I have been wrestling with over the years, and we decided to make a movie about that. It's really a movie for men and women. Hopefully it's going to be giving women a chance to see what men really wrestle with, not just what they admit that they wrestle with.
Shit from anyone, especially the terrorists.
You believe everybody in the world is a terrorist?
I never said that. I'm just saying you have to be ready for them when they come for you. My family is from Iran. My mother is from Lebanon. I know what I'm talking about.
Oy vey. Could someone please pass me the butter?
My character's name is Mohammed, this Middle Eastern guy who is a restaurateur. So he has a small restaurant and he's married to a beautiful blonde American lady. And Mohammed has his own insecurities and his own issues. On top of being the men, as part of the men's category insecurities, he also has his own cultural stuff that he has to deal with. In a sense, Mohammed's character has even a heavier load on his shoulders because of where he's from and because of how he was raised.
Showing us your penis is not going to do anything for us, and it's not going to give you self-respect.
Well, you know, it might. Look, his wife is no longer around to look at his penis. At least if his close friends see it, they could acknowledge for him that it's still there. Isn't that what we as men really want to know when we run around trying to take over the world? We want to know that our dicks are still there. I say, if he wants to show us his dick, let him. If we find that his dick isn't worth looking at, we'll just look away.
But what is fascinating, I must add, about his character is that this is a man who was raised in Iran. He was raised in a different culture. And for him to be brave enough to join a men's group where men reveal their true feelings, their true fears, their hopes, their dreams, a huge jump of faith for someone who's from a culture that's not used to that kind of intimacy. So the very question of why is this man in the group, choosing to be in the group, is a very powerful statement, I think, about how and what men need to rely on each other to survive, the idea that they actually need each other. I don't want to give away too much, but there's one character who struggles with sex addiction, which has become a major theme. Another character who has big plans and big business ideas, takes money out of his family's wife's account without her knowing it. There's a stay-at-home dad who has to deal with the question of is he a man if he stays at home and raises a child. There's 8 characters total, but they're all struggling with different issues. That as different as they are, and as much conflict as they have with each other, during the course of the film, they realize that they absolutely need each other.
Larry, may I suggest you try a Barbaric Yawp?
No thanks, Carl, not right now.
I think it would help you to do a Barbaric Yawp.
A barbaric what?
Yawp. Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world. Male affirmation.
Would you like me to do it for you, Larry?
If I say no, will that make any difference?
As a woman and as a publisher of a female magazine, if you could give me an elevator pitch on your film, what would you say that would really draw me into wanting to see this film?
As a woman?
As a woman.
How would you like to be a fly in the wall and hear what men really talk about?
This space should be an asshole-free zone.
When do we reach for something higher? Something more noble, something that feeds the soul of men. I think if more men were willing to really listen and support each other, the world might be a different place.
What are you all afraid of?